Hi everyone, welcome back to the day 2 of this series. In this series, we are going to cover the pending question from our basic Python refresher. I'm not going very fast with the question because I just want to be consistent with all these questions so that I can come back and daily do at least 5 to 10 questions and slowly improve. Whoever is not very familiar with the basic concepts of Python, what I will suggest, you first go back to any specific video on YouTube and then just do a 10 minutes of refresher first, then try to solve these questions because it will be very helpful in this way. That's what I have been following because sometimes I feel not very confident with few topics, so I just go back and get a refresher, then come back so that I don't feel I am losing a lot in terms of like the confidence, and then maybe I'm not ready yet, because this series is entirely to get ready for the interviews. Okay, so we have left somewhere at the question number 10. I'm gonna start with the question number 11. I have already listed down all of it here, and I'll try to cover as fast as possible so that we cover more questions, like approximately 10 to 15 questions within this video, and then we will jump to the day 3 and so on. So let's try to cover at least 10 to 15 questions. And if you feel you already know the answers for one question, you just pause and move to the next question. Just feel free to skip it. Okay. The first is create new list of customer who have only Gmail. So what I'll do for all such questions, I'll take a predefined set of list for my inputs rather than explicitly declaring all the inputs and then going back and splitting it. Or you can do is just get a list of specific inputs and then pass it. So over here I'm gonna this, and then why I'm doing it, just to save my time, because I already have covered the points where I'm taking the user's input and then splitting it up and then getting it as a dictionary. So feel free to reuse this set of code, so to make it more complex if you want to do this, or if you want to add such parts. I am skipping that for now, because it feels like it will consume so much time again. I'm gonna use all these predefined variables. So the list goes, and I'm not gonna name it list, but rather a list, something usual one. Somewhere I'll modify it to Hotmail. Somewhere I'll make it, let's say, I see, and keep it Gmail, and then change few bits here. Jack 3 2, and again some bit of, okay, I'll keep these for now. Okay, so these are the list of Gmails I have, or list of emails from a specific set of dictionary. We can extract it as a user input. However, it's completely up to you. Feel free to modify it and try to solve this question. I'm not gonna do it for now in terms of dictionary, because we can still use such kind of logic what we have done in the previous question to get the list item, so to get the dictionary items in the list. Okay, so I'll just directly go to the code. So we just want the Gmail. So for that, again, I'm gonna use the list comprehension. So for ls, I want to say if the string is if my specific item is consisting of gmail.com, because I don't want to just write Gmail. Maybe there are chances that the specific item will have Gmail in defined, uh, like as a name. So like what I mean is Gmail @gmail.com. I'm not sure if this even allowed, but we could have such cases. So I just, to avoid such cases, I'm writing the whole uh, host here. Okay, and then we just want to get the item list. So Since we need to create a new list, I'm just keeping it in a list form and then print it. So everywhere we see @gmail.com, that's the list we have. Moving to the next question. So okay, the next question says as GST 18% price to every product price dictionary. So there is already a predefined dictionary. I'll just reuse it, or you can create one of your own. I'll define it sample price maybe. Oops. And and in the sample price, I'll just try to extract the price detail and then multiply it with the 0.18. So that is very straightforward. And yeah, and let's say like if we want to print it in the list comprehension, we can do it definitely. There is no big challenge in it. Um, I think better we just print it in that form. Okay, let's go for it for again item in sample price dictionary. We're gonna extract so yeah, so we're gonna extract is the price, so sample price for every. Okay, so for this one I'm gonna extract the price. This first let me train price get the okay, and now I want to add the GST to it, so I'm just need into 0.18. Make sure the output what you are getting is in the int. If it's already not in int uh, or float type, just better to mention in the float type. But if it's already not in a float type, make sure to explicitly mention it as a float. So yeah, this is how we can actually calculate the or get a list of price, new or updated price with the added GST or added tax bracket. Moving to the next question. There is one more catch if you really want to update the new price. So we have to again probably change it in the dictionary. Let's try it out also because since we are learning sample price, and what I want to do is I really want to swap it in the or like update it in the dictionary. Probably if I go inside new price, price should be equal to the existing price into right. Let's print the sample. So the new updated prices in this one. Okay, another thing, maybe we can just see it in a more better form and then okay, this has been updated in the sample price. We could have done the same in our list comprehension. It's just feel free to add it this piece of code there. Just have to pick the price and then update it. Now, okay, there is one more thing. Since it's a assignment, it might not work, and yeah, and we are inside this competition. I think it doesn't work. The best way is to do this, or maybe, I feel since we are using dictionary, probably it should be something like sample price. I guess so. That's how it works. We can do it. Let's go to Evangeline. I see it. Going to find the dictionary. Anything in the new dictionary. I just give it a try again and then see. My sample price. Input should be key and price should be the price. The key is price. Oh, dictionary. Yeah, try to see if it's working or not. Okay, I finally figured out the answer. So what we're gonna do is inside a list, which is like list comprehension, we are gonna pass it as a dictionary, and then for every dictionary key, we're gonna pass the element, and that will give us the results. So this is how it will be in list comprehension if we really want to overwrite uh, the values for. Okay, moving to the next question, which is like count frequency of initials from names list. So this is a names list we have provided with. I just created it randomly, and these are the initials which I mentioned because I just want to make sure that all initials are included in one list category. So for this, what we're gonna do, we're gonna search all the initials we have inside the names list. So for that, first we're gonna split this names list using the space, because what I can say is like, oh sorry, with the comma, and then later we're gonna split it based on the um, or what we can do is split it based on the comma and then further split it based on the space. Okay, so let's do it for every element. I'll just write in the names list. We're gonna split it. So we're gonna split based on the space. For this, what we can do when we are splitting, we can store it again in another list. So to do that, I'll just specify here another list which is ls, and inside the ls, I'm gonna use append. Uh, but better to use extend, because extend will extend another list inside a single list. So when we print ls, okay, now we have the list. Another thing, I want to make sure all the elements inside the list is in a lowercase. So to do that, I probably let's do it while we are looking inside the initials list. Okay, so to do that, probably like for all the uh, to check it in a separate way, maybe specify it outside for all the item in ls. We need to look if item is in or like in. Can we use sin if the item is in initials and initials? If yes, then we're gonna do the count plus one and print the count. Count is equal to 0 for now, and then the count. Okay, mm, or we can try the is in list combination. For now, I'll just use in. Okay, we need to check if we need to make it in a lowercase. So probably first we need to make it in a lowercase. I have already defined the initials in the lowercase. Okay, so all of it are in lowercase. So if you also want to make it in a lowercase, you have to again traverse all of it and then make it the lowercase, or maybe use the list comprehension again. Okay, so now I'm gonna write it in a more shorter form, and then rather than using multiple for loop, I'll just make sure that this goes inside the another for loop, and let's first try to say. Okay, so so there are like two level of for loop here. To avoid this, there's one thing what I can do is Again, let's just go directly and check inside this split functions of what we have used for the list, but rather I'll just use it in a list comprehension and get the count. So the idea behind it is get the values like the count and then do the sum. Or I'm not gonna use the count function, rather I'm just gonna use the sum. Or you can use count as well. I will try with the both. So I'll quickly uh, check the items or traverse through the names. And for the names, so for the name in names list, what we want to check is first thing, all names should be in the lowercase. So I definitely want it in the lowercase. Further, I want to split it. So when I'm going to split it, I will split it based on the space. So everything gonna be split. When I try to print this, if I'll just go ahead and print this, I'm sure we're gonna get a list. Okay, we got an error for basically have to do. Okay, let me just move it and then do it. Okay, this is how we are getting the this is not basically adding it to the list, but rather trying to print it as a separate elements for the list. So for this one also, I have a quick for it that we are going to use the if statement. Since we can see that the first element is always like the initial, right? So what we're going to do is just simply go inside the first element. So just to take the first element, I'll just use the index as 0. If this is equal to, if this one is equal to like, oh sorry, not equal to, but uh, if the first element of this list is inside the my initials list, okay, if that exists, then definitely I'm gonna return as 1. Now let's see. Okay, I got the, I'll just comment it out first thing. So yeah, I got the count as 1 2 3 4 5 5, because over here we have like 5 places, 3 places for Mr. and then 1 place for Miss and then another place for Master. And since we got the 5, so if I try with the count, I guess it should be length, but rather count. Let's see. I am not sure count works this way. Yeah, it's length. So if I print the length, it is 5, or I can just do simply this sum. So both way it will work. Just yeah. I think it will vary if we are just printing a specific string. So if we are using a string, it will not not return the sum of it. So rather return something like as a count. Okay, so this is how we can use in the list comprehension. This is like a very shortest form of what I found. Maybe like we can use for loop and then also follow the same way that what we are doing, like traversing again in the every element and then find it out. If I just try to quickly give it a shot, what I want to do is uh, rather than using it as a first index, because by default I am just using it as a, I'll say that I know that first that since it's initial, it will be always in uh, the first index. Rather, let's pick this list and modify it in a way. I want to search for Smith, so I see like there are two places where Smith is there, and there could be a possibility that these two are somehow relative or not, or just found try to find out the frequency of a specific item. So for this, I know definitely we can use count. So like let's say if I try to see count works, but before even going that, I again have to split it because it's not a single element, it's just rather inside a specific element then there is a word. Or again I need to traverse and then check for Smith. So I think this should return just 1. The count is 1. Okay, just returning. Okay, so we have this count as 1 because it will be reading this as a Smith, but we see this is 2. Again what I'm gonna do is split this. I'll again follow the list comprehension and try to do my selection and the names if, and then I'm gonna print 1. But before even going that, if the names dot count consists of Smith, inside the name I further need to split this one, and then inside the that specific list I need to look for the count the number of Smiths. Like, okay, so now again I got like two occurrence of it. So again this is also working like this is a full list. Inside that full list it is just looking for a specific character and then printing it out. Again we can just use the sum. This is another way of doing it as well. Like if you say just want to look for a specific character, that's how you can do. And now let's assume that we have a list of, let's, again there is a list. From this list I want to see how many if these two specific names are, or like let's say if these two specific letters are there, and then just use the two. Okay, so if there is such case, what again I can do is rather use probably another for loop for, and over here I just want to get the I, or like let's say item inside for item in check, and we have to close this. It's probably, for some reason I'm not satisfied. I think again we have to specify one over there outside of it. I'm now doubtful how it will work. Let's see first the error we are getting in 10 list. Okay, so it's some definitely not gonna be there. Okay, yeah. And there will be one more thing. What we can do is we can actually also return the item occurrence. I feel we might gonna cover some such questions later. I have already covered such questions while practicing. But I vaguely remember. Okay, this one closes. This one should be the one. Something wrong. Do the sum of this one. Okay, and then return the list. Okay, we need to return it as a form of dictionary. Since like, or maybe as a print rather, or probably a join. How it will work? I think this should go as a dictionary. And then this one goes as the item. This is a list of dictionary is how I'm thinking it will print the value. Okay, yeah, correct. What is this? Okay, right. Okay, so the Smith's occurrence is twice, and then Joe's occurrence is one. So that's how like we can actually write the a reference to the key and the value pair in a key. And now for the question number 14, given employee salary return list of employees above median salary. So for this I'll just reuse the above dictionary where I'll consider the price as the salary. I'll replace it with salary. Okay, and median. So for median we need to find out a formula 3, 4 and 5. I'll probably take it somewhere around 7 and then this one around 9. This I'll name it Mark M, and this should be somewhere Alex. Okay, so abbreviation we just we can remove it or keep it as it is, so that we can have like more elements, sorry, items in the. So now we need to just extract the employees, given employee salaries, return list of employees above median salary. Okay, before that we'll just go and check for the median formula, median in Python. Okay, statistics dot median. Nope, that's not how we want it. Probably, yeah, that's how. Usually, first we have to sort the from the smallest to the largest value, and then extract the formula like n minus n divided by 2, and then minus 1 plus. So it's like uh, if the if we have odd number, then definitely the middle digit is the uh, like if we have um, if we have like even numbers, it will be uh, the the nth divided by 2 minus one element, and then plus the next element to it. So in case of, let's say, 6, it will be 3 plus 4 divided by 2. So like the third element plus fourth element, and then we're gonna divide it by 2. That's how we find the median. So I'll go with that rather than using the library again. I feel library makes it very easy, and we keep on forgetting the formulas. So first we need to get the list of salaries, and then get the median of the salary. Then we're gonna convert it to the then we're gonna get the names of the employees. Okay, so by default, it should be above salary, so it should be just wall DC. I'll add few more actually, so that we can have somewhere 6 elements. I'll try to add. Okay, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, and then let's give it different name. I feel short of names. Just very random names. Okay, these are the names for now coming in my mind. And now I want the salary to store salary item, and we're gonna store this salary inside our another list. I mean, that's how I feel. I'll just quickly use the list comprehension here rather than going and printing. Okay, this is the list of salaries. Okay, I just need to update it a bit more. Then this one should be something. Let's keep other as it is. This is the salaries. Now, length of the salaries, like the number of employees, basically, what we can say should be length of salaries, which is our n. So, okay, 6. That's what we wanted. So we'll just name it as n. Usually, it's not very important to define it as a variable, but since we are doing the formula, I'll just use it. The formula goes something like n. Okay, we are going to use the if else. I'll use it. Okay, I mentioned odd. Then for even it should be this. So if it's odd, it will be n divided by 2 plus, it should be n divided by 2 minus n. So it's 3, 6. It's like the length is 6. So it will be divided by 3 minus 1, 2, and plus n divided by 2 plus 1. It is wrong. It's n minus 1. Yeah, we need to forget to sort the list into sort it. So, and if it's done, get something in the elements of salaries. Should be salaries plus. Okay, and another one is, let's say that one of it's, oops, I just stopped it. Yeah, I need something on like that. I'm saying salaries, it will be just a by default in place is true. Yes, in such cases, that's why we don't get the actual results. Okay. I guess we can also sort the dictionary as well. I'll just try to sort the dictionary based on the salaries. Let me see. Based on the salary, if we can do that really. Okay. Maybe I think not for now. Maybe later we can check. Okay, so I just sorted the salaries and now I'll just check the same thing again. Okay, since yeah, it will. So whenever we are just dividing it, it's giving it in a float. Rather, we need it in the int form. So I'll just use the floor function. Same thing here. Just so now what we can do is simply use the if else. So if for such cases, I have seen actually one pretty nice code. So like the I think you guys might have seen or worked with it. I'll still show. I really like this shortcut. It's not a kind of shortcut, but it's just a very tricky way of using it. So let's say if n modulo 2 equal to 0. Okay, what's wrong? Yeah, we're not using the string slicing. We since like mm, our value is 6, so like the statement goes true, so it should return the even one. When I go and now it's time to write it in the for loop rather than again and again mentioning these. So just use for or like just with if condition 0. What we gonna do? We're gonna use return salary like this, else salary be this. Okay. Now once we got the salary, what we gonna do is gonna get all the names where the salary is higher than specific, and also I can specify length here directly. No need to mention it separately. Okay, and now out of the dictionary, I will first traverse through the dictionary, and since we need the names, I'll just make it again list function for mm, the name sample price. Okay, I'll keep it now sample price already. We've been using it. Now if item and then the salary greater than salary, we're gonna print the name and okay. So these are the three people whose salary is greater than, and we can also see their salaries. Let me see if we can write this way. Earlier also I was trying to get it, couldn't get it. So why not make it a tuple and get it in a this form? It's neither salary also. Okay, so okay, um we can see that everywhere the salary is above the 1235 number. Okay, over here I was also trying to get something. Yeah, I have to make it in a dictionary. Rather, I'll just try to make it in a tuple. Sorry, my bad. Sorry. I just want to see if it works. Yeah, it is giving us a list of. Uh, I'll print both. Okay, so one is dictionary and one is tuple. It's just completely up to you. What is the requirement? How you want to store your data? Can consume it. Okay, so this is the 14th question. Now we're gonna just cover the last question for this video, and then probably come up with another video for these questions. I think I need a lot, not just one video, but rather multiple videos for the solving these questions. My speed is going very slow. Okay, convert key value pairs to string. I think this is very straightforward. Probably just now what we did. Again, string sample val, can say, and use it a dictionary. Sample val. Okay, what do you want to do is key and then value as equal to. So are we saying that we need some comma v? Okay, comma v, and let's see if we can get a k comma v this way. So it should be here. I used multiple. No, this is correct. We need to print it. That was not closed. Okay, let me see what. Okay, why I'm using a comma here. I need to zip it up first. Again. Okay, so I finally tried a lot of ways and then I came up with the solution is that if we try to concat it in a string form, in this way we can actually get a list in a way that this is the key and then this is the value. Convert key pair to string. That's how we wanted to print it. Now I'll just try to join and see if I can print it in a normal string way. Maybe let's see that if that will work. Dot. Okay, but it's not taking. Yeah, okay. So now we get a list. Inside the list, for every key pair, we are getting. Just try to write it in this way. For every key pair, we are getting in a form of yeah, the key equal to the value. Another thing, what I am again thinking is to try to print it a way that it writes out of the list. Let's see. Okay, so name is equal to Alex, abbreviation is equal to, and then in this is the format what we are looking for. So this is how we can actually using the list comprehension and we can write it in a key equal to value pair. So what I have again, I'll just quickly translate what I used. Or how I used this for loop. So for first for loop, I used to read through the items like 1, 2, all this, and then while I was reading through these dictionaries like the key values, I just try to read the keys and the values using the zip function. I just combined it and then used it for like k and the vk for the reference for keys and then y for the v for the values, and then I just simply used a concat and printed it out. Again, if we want to see that we can use it without the comprehension also, I feel. Just try to remove the list out of here and then see if it's really working. Okay, a bit of this goes here, and we want one here. Okay, this is for our join, and is for the print. Okay, yeah, we're still getting the same value. So in even if I'm using the round brackets, it's still giving the same result, so I can use both way. Okay, so this is still the 15 questions we have covered. We still have a few more questions from the list, and we'll cover these in the next video, and I'll try to make the video shorter so that it don't stretch too much, and then we can quickly cover less questions but with more explanation rather than covering a lot of questions, because I feel like they're trying to skip a lot of basic concepts and rather trying to rush to cover the questions. So I'll just try to make it short, as well as cover the less quantity of questions and working more on the quality of the logics, and so that I don't have to come back again and revise it again. I'll just put 1 week for Python basics, and then later we still have pandas and numpy to cover, so we will also cover it in the first week itself. Okay guys, that's all for this video. We'll cover other questions in the next video. Thank you.